Okay, today is Sunday. It's 10:23 p.m. It is August 3rd. Uh usually usually um you can skip kindergarten. I suppose you could skip elementary school as well. And then you would skip high school, okay? Uh but I would think that you would need some sort of so there's a couple ways of doing it, right? So there's a way to if you go to college for 4 years or do some self-studying, okay, uh, as a journeyman, either being a journeyman or getting a college degree and and earn the opportunity to practice in the field that a person is interested in, right? So there's two ways of going at it, which is becoming a journeyman, uh, learning learning the practices. The second part is such as like getting certificates and then also doing self study and things like that. But especially in software development, you can do your own studying and become a software master at it by studying by yourself, right? You can just skip all the humanitaries, some of the other extracurricular things like engineering economics and things like that, or thermodynamics or whatever it is, so that a person can specifically focus on that particular part of the discipline. The second part is going to school and then learning the discipline of something called electrical engineering and then getting a degree in it by taking the courses that are recommended, like taking essays and things like that, right? So in trading, what I've noticed is that in trading, what I've noticed is that uh, what I've noticed, and many of the pros talk about this, is like people try to just jump and do something, which I have been trying to do without learning, without knowing anything. So what eventually happens is that because there's so many things that need to be learned, it has to be acquired through hard knocks in trading. And so what happens is in the beginning you just lose a lot, and then you begin to learn, and then you start to lose a little bit because now you're starting to pick things up. Okay, like on a Friday when a candle is this long, either way, psychologically you get brainwashed into just jumping in. So the idea is going from not knowing what to do to knowing, and there's a couple paths of doing it. Now, as a day trader, what I've discovered is that there is a specific way of trading, and there's all manner of trading as well. There's all manner of trading, and there's a specific way of trading. All manner of trading is like take my hard earned dishwasher money, put it into the market, and then just buy and sell randomly without even knowing anything. I can do that because the market allows me to do that. Okay, I can do that without knowing anything about what things are. Now, the second part uh, is studying the market to figure out why it moves. Okay, why does it move the way that it moves? Okay, then once I figure out how the market moves, then I can figure out uh, like strategically. I can figure out how to strategically how to uh, how to figure this out, right? So how to trade. So what I've noticed about now here's something that I could not understand. All right, here's something that I could not understand about this Al Brooks program that I've been studying for years and years, and I couldn't. I can't wrap my head around it and why there are so many things that he's talking about, right? And then when he talks about he's got a bonus video. He's got a bonus video about the three types of patterns, and it's about an hour long, and I'm watching it over and over and over again. It's very difficult to do. It's 1 hour long. I've seen it like 100 times. That's 100 hours, at least 100 hours. So he goes into detail, describing the three types of setups. Okay. So the three types of setups that all traders should know is essentially is, if I look at it, I mean, all traders should know. Okay, three patterns, all traders should know. Okay. Okay, so one of them is strong bull trend. Second is bull trend pullback, and then the wedge reversal and wedge top. Okay, wedge bottom, wedge reversal at the top, and wedge reversal at the bottom. Okay, essentially three different ones, right? So strong bull trend, strong pullback, and then there's a wedge that pulls up, and then the wedge that pulls down, kind of thing, right? So there's essentially like three different types of setups. So these are setups, okay? So fundamentally speaking, I have to be able to, so 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 that is something that I have to be aware of in order for me to, there's a sequence of things that needs to occur, okay? So one thing that I need to identify is the critical component of what I've been missing is what's the setup, okay? How do I categorize that as a setup? How do I categorize as a setup? Because that's the so if I were to make educational system a as easy as possible without having to be in the excursion areas of life, and then finally getting back to it uh, by taking certificates and trading and getting it, it is essentially it is essentially knowing where the starting position is to get to where the finish line is, right? So a successful trade, a successful trade is very, very important. Obviously, it's very, very important because it requires a sequence of events that needs to occur in order to fit together the idea that I have in mind that the market will go. And that is called a thesis. So when I think about it and when I piece together these sequence of things that I need in order to make that determination, then I can fit that puzzle into the sequence of what I need to do in order to get to the finish line. So I haven't figured this out either. When I was an engineer, and I would create software, right? I would put together a software based on the problem. And what I would do is I would fit together many of these things without creating a structure of what's required beforehand to give an idea of where my approach should isolate myself into, instead of creating all these things that I spent a great amount of time exploring. So I spent an enormous amount of time exploring the possibilities of solving this problem instead of instead of instead of instead of having an idea, but knowing. So this is like Costco. I was at Costco today, and I have a problem with lactose. Okay, my body uh, has an allergic reaction to lactose. It cannot digest uh, uh, lactose. Lactose is part of the dairy, part of dairy products, which is specifically milk. If I told you God is talking to me every each day, uh, I don't know why I'm mentioning God all the time, but I have to mention God because I don't know how else I can explain these things. Okay, so I was at Costco and I was looking for this lactate, which is essentially is to help me digest milk. So I go over there and I look around. I couldn't find anything. So I asked this employee. I said, "Hey, could you help me find this lactate?" So she walks around and I don't see it. And then she says, "Well, it should be around this area." And she doesn't know. She'll just go to the front of the computer and find out. Then I said, "Oh, I'll stick around here and I'll look for it." So what happens is that if I am looking for something, this is it's amazing. It's amazing how God is teaching me how to trade. God, I'm going to call it, God is helping me how to trade. I'm going to have to title this, God is helping me how to trade. Amen. So essentially, what that means is it's like those people who work at Costco, they know what's going on. Okay, so they have this formula that says, okay, so you don't want to show the customer where it is. You want to teach them how to fish. Okay, teach how to fish. That's their main idea. That's their main idea. Okay, so the reason why I was fired as an engineer more than 100 times, okay, more than 100 times, okay. The reason why I was fired more than 100 times is because they don't want to show me the fish. So they wanted me to find the fish for myself. Okay, they wanted me to find the fish for myself. Okay, so this person on LinkedIn mentioned something about like uh, you want to show people how to fish, not to get the fish. Okay, right? So that's the idea. So now, okay, but I'm going to show you how to get the fish. I'm going to give you the fish, okay? With this, okay? With this, I'm going to give you the fish, okay? Here's how you get the fish. Here's how you get the fish, all right? Okay, what I've noticed is that people don't give you the fish. They teach you how to get the fish. But you can say, okay, I gave you birth, go find the fish. Okay? So you could teach people how to fish by saying, okay, so look, there's a billion jobs out there, go get it. Okay? That's how you teach fish. The other is, okay, here's a big 18 wheeler, okay? I'll sit you down, you drive it. Okay, that's how you fish. Okay, that's how things can be. Okay, that's how things can be, right? So, so what I've noticed about, what I've noticed about trading is that I'm just gonna give you the fish. I'm gonna give you the fish. I don't see. The thing is, it may not be right. Okay, but I believe it's right. Okay, but this is the process that needs to go through in order to grab the fish. Here's how you catch the fish. Okay. Okay, so I suppose giving you the fish is like taking money out of my pocket and giving it to you. Okay, that's giving it to you. But okay, so this is how I'm going to teach you how to catch the fish. How to catch the fish. Okay. This is how it's going. This will be a way for you to catch the fish because it's teaching me how to catch the fish because I was thinking about it. I made these trades that got me to this point, but I haven't really outlined how I got here. Okay, I haven't really outlined how I got to this point. So I need to outline how I got here. Okay? Here's how you catch a fish. Okay? Here is, see, when I work at the restaurant, I do prep work and the fish smells. Okay? But it doesn't matter because it pays the bills. Okay? There's this Catholic coworker, and she doesn't work there anymore. She walks over to me while I was like grinding meat. A very nice young lady. Okay, hope she's doing very well. She's a really good Catholic, warm-hearted Catholic. Okay, and I'm just grinding this like bloody meat. I'm putting it in. I got blood like flowing everywhere, and she comes over and she says, "Hey, how do you grind that meat without getting disgusted?" I'm I'm thinking to myself, I'm old, and I don't smell. It doesn't. When I was young, I can smell things, but now I can't smell a dang thing. And I said, "Huh? I don't know." The reality is, it pays the bills. Okay, for now, it pays the bills, and it's got to be done. It's being done. Okay, but here's how you catch a fish. Okay, I'm not gonna give you the fish, but here's how you catch the fish. All right. So I'm not profitable right now, but I'm just giving you some advice. So you can tell how much value this video is, okay? I'm just I haven't caught I haven't made a single penny yet, but I'm just giving you the I'm being very honest here. But this is how it's done. This is how I've been observing. I've been trying to figure out how this I bought this program from Mel Brooks for $400 and I just can't figure it out. It's been years and years and years. He just talks about these little minutiae of details that he goes through. He's being broad in describing. He's like broad. He's broad. He's he's doing it. And then on the bonus video, then he goes into like, okay, so here are the three things that you need to know. And then I'm beginning to see a little bit after watching over 100 hours of that same video over and over and over again, that there is some reasoning behind everything. And I'm thinking to myself, if you are a astute individual, you should be able to figure this out without any problem whatsoever. You should be able to figure this out. Okay? If you're an astute individual, you should be able to figure this thing out. Okay? So, okay, if you are an astute individual, you should be able to figure this out without a problem at all, right? It's so if I were to look at this, you have somebody who has a cushy job, okay? So I heard a lot of doctors who have really good jobs, they pay people to teach them how to trade, right? That's all you have to do. All you have to do is pay somebody to teach you how to trade. There's plenty of people who are willing to trade. Okay, I'm not one of them because I'm not profitable. Okay, and even if I'm profitable, I'm not going to be teaching anybody. Okay, I heard it's lucrative, but I don't do that. So there's plenty of other people who are far better at it than I could ever be, right? So then, how do I teach somebody how to catch a fish? Okay, how do I catch a fish? So what I've noticed is that she made this statement. She said this. She said, okay, so I was at Costco and this employee, she says, oh, it should be in this general area because it has a digestive products in this area. And lactose intolerance has something related to, and so they categorize it. They don't put they don't put lactate in the milk aisle. They don't put it in the vegetable aisle. They don't section. They don't put it in. They don't put in the meat section. They don't put it into the hardware section. They don't put it into the cereal section. They don't put it in the coffee section. They put it in the supplement area where is most likely probable. So when I say God is teaching me how to trade, this is what I mean. So whatever something happens and I walk through it, God is teaching me how to trade. And I'm telling you, I'm saying this as honestly as possible. I don't know how this is happening. I don't know. I have no idea how all this is happening. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm just going with it. Okay? I'm just going with it, right? So what I've learned is that this dietary supplement resides in our area. So the question that I need to ask myself is this. Okay, so how would I find it? So I was in the right area, but I had to be more specific in the area that I was in because I had the area right, which is the supplement area, but I didn't realize I had to get into a finer detail. So what that means is that trading. So that told me that I need to move myself in a finer detail of specifics, just like trading. Okay, just like trading. It's just like trading. Trying to find lactate is just like trading. Okay, trying to find lactate at Costco is just the same as like trading. It really is. Okay, so what I had to do was I had to figure out, I had to figure out I had to figure out in which department it's in, which is the supplement department. And then I had to go into the aisle where it had a dietary supplement kind of a thing there. And so that's where it's categorized as. And then after I saw that, then I need to figure out generally which area. It was on the top shelf. So I got into top shelf, I grabbed one, and then I solved, I made a successful trade. Okay, I took that supplement and bought it, and then I had my receipt to exit, right? And so if I'm like trying to teach somebody how to trade, okay, if I want to teach somebody how to trade instead of giving the fish, okay, like like somebody who's standing in front of Winco asking for money, instead of giving this person money, okay, what can I tell this person? What can I tell this person so that this person is able to get the fish for themselves? Okay? So it's the same analogy, and God has shown me how to do that, which is essentially look at the higher time frame, look at the lower time frame, look at the lower time frame, and then identify the specific product, which is the setup. Okay? Identify the specific setup there, and then because the specific setup has been identified, I have an idea how it's going to behave. Okay? Then I take strategic positions to take advantage of how it's going to unfold. Okay? And I specifically place the stop loss and profit target based on the extremes of that setup. Okay? And then that as soon as it reaches one or the other, then the trade is over. As simple as that, right? So if I were to put it into layman's term, okay, into the lactate terminology, I'll call it the lactate principle. Okay, I'll call it the I'll call it the I'll call it the lactate principle. Okay, so essentially I wrote it down here, and I'm thinking about it. I'm rolling in my mind to how I can fine tune the way that I'm trading. Right. So then what I'm going to do is after I specifically identify, outline. See, this is why smart people should be able to figure this out easily. First, you create an outline. Okay, it doesn't have to be 100% valid, but you create an outline, and then you fine tune it. You break it down. You figure out what each of the components are, and you explore it. After you explore it, then you have a complete piece of the possibility of something that could happen. Okay, uh, and so what I've noticed is that first I made it as simple as possible. Okay, so I have to identify whether the price is going to go up or price is going to go down. Okay, so how do I do that? How do I do that? Then I have to say to myself, okay, so I have to identify the setup. I have to identify the setup. Okay. Um, yeah, I have to identify the setup. So I have to. So the first thing is, okay, I have to identify the setup. How do I identify the setup? There's two types, right? So on a bigger picture, it's called a range bound, or it's going to be trending. Okay, it's going to be trending up or down, or range bound, or toggling back and forth. So it's one of those two things. So which one is it? Okay, which one is it? And then when I identify that, okay, then I have to see, okay, what kind of structure does it have? Okay, what kind of okay, so there are like apparently there's like a wedge formation. There's other formation, but it is part of what we call when that happens, it's going to either going to be creating a breakout situation, or it's going to create a continuation situation there, right? So I have to look at the lower level structure. There's a higher level structure. There's a lower level structure that gives me more details. Okay, so then I have to figure out, now that I've identified the higher level structure, then I identify the lower level structure. Higher level means, okay, is it range bound? Is it trending? Okay, then what kind of structure the lower level structure is? Is it like a break and retest? Is it like a wedge? Is it a double bottom? Is it a triple bottom? Whatever it is, okay? So I'm identifying that part of it. Then after I identify it, okay, so where in that structure is the price? Okay, then I identify that, okay, because it's in this price, it's going to be on the lower side or the high side. Then I need to take appropriate actions. If it's on the lower side of a range bound situation, then I should be looking for something to go long, right? So that then I set my trade, and I just make the trade. Okay, so that's it. So for me, as my homework now, this is the trading has already begun, but the homework that I should have already started, but I just caught up on sleep. Okay, I had to go to Costco get some lactate, but I got some cereals because they're on sale. Okay, but the fundamentally speaking, tic tac toe. Okay, tic tac toe. That's what it is. So logically thinking, it's this. Okay, logically thinking is I have to decide whether it's going up, whether it's going down. The price. Okay, I have to first identify what the structure is. Is it range bound, or is it trending? Okay. Then I have to higher order structure. Then I have to define the lower order structure, which is it double bottom? Is it wedging? Is it so what's happening? What's happening? Is it break and retest? Is it so what's happening? So that's the lower level kind of a situation, right? Then I figure out, okay, so is it where is the price respect to the structure? Okay, then I can tell which direction it's going to be statistically to a certain level. Okay, then I into the trade based on that information. Okay, so that's how you teach somebody how to trade. And so and so I've been looking at Al Brooks for quite a while, but his job uh, is to describe the global picture of what trading environment is. Uh, he may have something that says, okay, this is how you trade, but it hasn't sunk in yet. It hasn't sunk in yet. He may have been describing this multiple times, but I kept missing it for several years. But this is a picture that I need to have in order to, just like picking up lactate, okay? In order for me to pick up a lactate at Costco, I have to go through the process of thinking properly in order to get to the objective, and then finally obtain doing performing a trade. Okay, in this case, it was like 18 bucks to get 6 months supply of lactate, right? If I were to eat cereal every day, right? So anyway, so that is a I wouldn't say that's a 30,000 feet perspective of what trading is, but I would say that would be somewhere around. I would say that would be a 1,000 foot perspective of what trading is. And then the next step is, now I'm going to piece together all these things, uh, finer detail of what Al Brooks is teaching. Okay, so all his descriptions will meet the pavement at 0 feet. Okay, what he's describing is 0 feet on the ground level of trading. He's teaching the ground level of teaching of trading. And so once I understand what he knows, then I can bring down this 1,000 feet perspective into the ground so that I can trade it with a higher level of concreteness to what I'm doing. But there is still that haziness when I'm looking at something from a distance. It's still a little bit foggy, but that's how trading is done, right? So it all came from. Uh, Now I've seen this before. It is practiced in life. That's how people. This is this is how boy, one of my nose hair is tickling me, and it tickled so much that it's causing my right eye to start to tear. So so it's called so this is essentially is um okay. So wow. So this is essentially what trading is about. This is a process that I need to go through. It's the process that I was missing. Okay, it's the process that I need to go through. It's a process. And at the end of it, it's like a manufacturing process. I dump the raw ore into the beginning, and at the end of it, I see a frying pan at the end of it, right?